Hello, everybody. Welcome to Straight Out of BS Podcast, another episode. Thank you so much for the continued support. We've just broke 11,000 views and then over 2,000 hours of view time. So keep up the good work. Keep sharing it. Keep liking it. Keep watching the videos. Keep telling people about it. If you know anybody that wants to be interviewed, send them my way, please. And let's just keep this coaster going. I want to do a moment of silence for the person still suffering with drug addiction, with mental problems, anything like that. So on the count of three, I'm going to do a moment of silence. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and with that being done, oh yeah, I wanted to shout out one more thing. Janine Miller, thank you so much for being for donating monthly to the podcast. It means the world to me. You're my first Patreon donor, so I really appreciate it. All the money goes back into the podcast, and I also appreciate anybody that has donated in the past weeks. It kind of blows my mind, but thank you so much for the support, and it really means the world to me. I just wanted to give y'all a shout out. I know some of you didn't want to be named, but I wanted to give a blanket shout out. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest for the day. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what school you went to and what year.
Hey, my name's Rick Edmiston, or Ricky Edmiston. I went to CEDU after the Ascent program. So I went to the Ascent program and then to the CEDU program, of course, without knowing that I was going to end up at CEDU in '94, I think.
Okay, and did you get transported, or did your parents trick you into going there, or how did that play out?
I was that bad. I was that bad. Like I went straight from court into a transport vehicle onto an airplane to Ascent in Idaho.
Okay, so you were it was a court recommendation essentially, right?
It was a either or. Like it was either I go to like juvie and then prison till I was 21, or go to this program.
Okay, did they tell you, what was that?
Until I was 18.
Okay, and so were there any other stipulations, or did you just have to either graduate or just wait till you were 18? Is that the only stipulations they gave you?
Yeah, just until I was 18.
Okay, and when you got to Ascent, tell us a little bit about, or the viewers, tell them like just the layout of Ascent, what the point of the program was, what day-to-day routine looked like, and or let's not go into that quite yet. When you first got there, how long did it take you for you to realize that things were not like normal, or did you feel that way when you got there?
Well, completely honest as we are, I was that out of my mind. Like I was pretty much like my folks didn't know whether to take me to court or to the hospital. So like I was just blurred out. I still had like a half teener of Coke in my wallet.
Okay.
In the airport, in and I had forgotten about. I didn't even know, and so the first thing, like when I get to Ascent, like the first thing I can remember is just driving through like all the snow and all this stuff, and then get there and they like do the full strip search thing, and which is gnarly, and for any kid, and and then they found the Coke, and they just went ballistic, like screaming at me just straight away. just laid into me about bringing it there, and I was frail ass, like sucked up, skinny, little thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so they were like berating you because were they like thinking that you were trying to sneak it in, or is that like how they were treating you, or were they more so treating you like, oh, well, you're a bad person because you were found with drugs, so you're a drug addict? Like, how did it seem to you?
No, they treated me like I was trying to sneak it in.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And I don't even know where I am. Like,
Yeah.
I'd been up for like probably 3 days, so you
Okay.
know.
Did you going back a little bit? Did you just curious, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but when did you get involved in drugs? Like at what age? And what started you into that, like down that road?
Well, I started dibble dabbling, I guess, in like weed and that, like at like 13, 14, and I suppose peer pressure and just the environment I was surrounded. Just it was it was everywhere, like skating, and all my friends were always having it, and not all my friends, but just I guess it was around, and we were doing it pretty much on the weekend and experimenting and trying it out, and hippies like Grateful Dead and like all that stuff was like the part of that time was like, oh, I'm a hippie, bro, like and that's what hippies do, is smoke weed and like buy bongs and things like that, like make pipes, and
Yeah,
that was like
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
that's right.
Yeah. All right. So after you came to when you were in Ascent, did you realize like pretty quickly like you were in a pretty fucked up place, or how did you feel when you finally like sobered up and like were able to fully take in your surroundings and like the environment?
um well, yeah, I kind of thought that that was all I was gonna have to do, like, was Ascent, and then I was going home. Like, I thought that was it. I didn't know about this other CEDU, and I was gonna be at this end up eventually being at this school long term. You know, of course, they tricked my parents, and anyways, we'll get to that. But like Ascent, like I actually kind of started, like, I thrive in that sort of thing. It brought me back to Boy Scouts,
Okay.
which is strange, but like I'm like I'm pretty much an Eagle Scout. Like I'm just missing like the Eagle Scout project.
Yeah.
Like everyone always relied on me for like tying knots, and like whenever we go camping and stuff like that, like they'd always call me a Boy Scout. So at Ascent, like, you know, I when we'd have to do like hikes or like stupid things like wading in waist deep water in the snow and rolling logs and just super dangerous stuff kids should not be doing, like in the middle of winter, hypothermic, and like being forced to sit on little tiny logs all day. Like, I mean, that isn't how you come off drugs. Like, in as a child, let alone an adult, like I don't know. It was just fundamentally dysfunctional and operated by ex former military, um, like Army Ranger vet, and um, and right next to the Sandpoint uh, Sandpoint, Idaho, Nazi skinhead compound, the big one up there, like Ruby Ridge, like it's right all up there.
Interesting.
Yeah, you'd be asleep in the teeth and hear, like all through the night, like machine guns and everything.
Did you so Ascent was that essentially a wilderness survival? Is essentially Ascent? It's like a 30 to 60 day, or how long was it?
Yeah, I think it's like 30 to 60 to 90 day
Okay.
program. And I think most people go from there directly over to the Rocky Mountain Academy, which I think I only got a glimpse of the building, and it looked like a big ski lodge.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, but Ascent was essentially the wilderness, like survival type thing. Like you have to pitch up your own tents, hike, do a bunch of manual labor, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, chopping wood, freezing all the time, the toilet, the 5-minute showers, running around like people were getting hernias, getting hurt all the time, getting their hands hit with the sledge and wedge. I remember that. It was a sledge and wedge, They wouldn't give us axes, of course, but yeah.
What's a sledge and wedge for people that?
Sledgehammer, sorry, and like a wood splitting wedge is a big steel thing that you lift up and put it on top of the wood, and then you take a sledgehammer and knock it in, and then you split the wood.
Okay, so like the harder way to use to cut wood.
That's right.
Okay, so did you end up doing how long do you know how long you ended up doing it at Ascent before they sent you up to CEDU?
I'm pretty sure it was like 30 days or 31 days, like a month, I think.
Okay, and what? Go ahead.
If I'm remembering correctly, like, of course, this is such a long time ago, so.
Yeah. What was the craziest or most fucked up thing that you saw there? And what was the hardest part about being at Ascent?
I think getting screamed at by like the Army Ranger guys was probably the most like sort of traumatic thing. And to this day I still suffer from that.
Like just people yelling in general?
In your face, screaming at you. Like, I mean, and you can't do anything. I mean, you're just a kid, and these are like military screaming in your face. I mean, it's like the TV shows like where they put the kids in the jail and scream at them, like it is not, yeah, it's not good, man. Not good. But yeah, like one of my friends, he's still a friend today. Like he was there when I was there, and he's very, very successful guy. He came out to Australia, but he was there and he got a hernia, and they were still making him work, like hump lumber and stuff. And he's having to hold his, like, I don't know, I've never had a hernia, but like he's having to hold his hand, like to hold like his stomach in, and they're making him carry things. Like that, I think, is probably the most messed up thing that I've seen. Like the dude belonged in the hospital.
Yeah, he didn't need to be tortured.
Yeah.
From what you noticed, did you feel like or get the feeling that or just like did you hear from anybody anything that would make you think that the people like the drill sergeants essentially is what I'm going to call them that they got off on torturing the kids?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like there's a big fat guy. He looked like Popeye, like Bluto, the guy with the beard on
Mm-hmm.
Popeye, and like he like if somebody set their water bottle down, their Nalgene Trail water bottle, and like I'm sure anyone listening would remember the Nalgene Trail water bottle. Like if you set it down, you had to sit on one of those little stumps, and that guy got off on like kicking it as far as he could, and he'd make you go get it, and then he'd throw it, and then he'd kick it. He just like a dog, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Was he the only one that you really saw that kind of behavior, or did you notice it in all of them?
Um, that guy was pretty much the only one. I think that really kind of was like kind of got off on being mean to kids. Like the other ones were kind of just there at Ascent, anyways. That they were kind of just there to like do outdoor ed and help kids. I think you
Okay.
know.
Okay. So you do your 30 days there, and then what happens when you transfer to CEDU? Like, run me or walk me through that day. Like, how did they transport you? How did that whole thing go down?
Um. Oh, they. I think. Yeah, I got picked up by the transporter, like Jason Statham, like, but it's just some dude in a BMW, and like he picks you up, and he's security, and he takes you to the airport, and nobody else explains to you, only him. He just like you don't get sit down in any room or anything like that. You do. I think you do get a phone call with your folks, and I think my folks told me, "Oh, um, you just have to fly down to this school in California, and um, and you have to do like an interview with them, and it's all lies, you know, like that that CEDU told my parents to tell me at the time, and um, you know, and convincing me to abide, you know, and like, and also the court order thing. They're like, remember, you're court ordered, so you don't want to go to like jail and prison. And I was like, yeah, okay, you know, I don't want to do that. So I was pretty much forced. Um,
Looking back on it now, would you have picked prison over if you knew what would happen in the future, like if you had like precognition or whatever, would you have chosen to go to prison instead of endure what you endured at both Ascent and CEDU?
um, I have to say, I would prefer actually to have. Um, well, because I've been in prison, and um, and I it's no place for a kid. Juvenile hall, same thing. Like, um, um, but I don't know how to say it, man. Like neither place is good, but certainly um, being in the outdoors is better for you.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? Like being behind a cell in prison and that kind of structure, that's only for the worst of the worst, man. Like, I mean, that's a bad thing. That sets somebody up for career criminal, not like a functioning sort of person with disabilities or problems, still able to work and associate with the world. But you send a kid to prison for 3 years, you're gonna get a career criminal
Yeah.
when they come out.
So it's a difficult question to answer.
Yeah, that's certainly one that's open for debate.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair dues. So when you got to CEDU, walk us through how did you feel when you first got there, or what happened when you first got there? What was the first things you noticed, and how long did it take for things to sink in there?
For me, it was just at first it was like, it was cruisy, Twilight Zone, except for the whole strip search thing again. It's like, hey, I just got off an airplane, and I've been with this guy the whole time. Why does like pedo Pete have to say drop your skivvies?
Yeah.
And in a real happy, fun, like manner, like, hey, drop your skivvies. Like, I want to see your pee-pee, like.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, who knows? I remember that was the exact phrase. Drop your skivvy. And I'm like, who's this guy? Like, pedo Pete. I don't know if his name was Pete. I can't remember. But those are
So when you they strip searched you, and then did they push you into a family, or like what family were you a part of when you got there? Because there was different families, right?
Yeah. I had to sort of listen to Carrie's one to sort of see how the structure went and kind of try and refresh my memory, because my memory's like pretty much shot. But uh, I was in a group, but I can't remember the name of it, man, because I burned. I literally burned all those documents on a barge in the River in Oregon.
Okay. No, I get it. I completely get it. Well, what about the CEDU experience? Like, what do you remember about that experience, and like what what do you remember like the hardest part about being at CEDU being, and like how did you deal with that?
Man, just those raps. The raps, making your bed every day, so they'd they wanted you, they'd come in the boys' dorms and like bounce a quarter off your bed, and if the bed wasn't that tight, they'd rip the sheets off and make you make it again, and until it was like perfect. And you'd have to like clean sweep every morning, and like everything had to be so super clean. And then you walk in line to get food. And then, what was super weird was like people that had been there, and you're the new guy, it's like new guy at high school. And like, it was super weird, like people that were in trouble, and you go to talk to them, and like, they won't talk to you, like their lips are sewn shut, and that you're like, hi, and they just walk past you like you got a big booger on your nose or something. I don't know, or like, and yeah, and those are the people that are in trouble, like for doing something. They're on bans or whatever they call it. They're not allowed to talk, and they just have to, or they're on a table where you can only you can only you wake up, eat, go straight to your table, or yeah, you wake up, go straight to your table, I think, and then eat, and then you stay at your table, and then your counselor comes out, gives you assignments, and then you get called into a rap, and then people rip you apart, scream and yell and cry and snot all over the place, and yeah, that's coming into CEDU. That's like the trippiest, like weirdest thing. I was just like, what is this place? This is whack, man. This is mental. Like, yeah.
How long were you at CEDU?
I stayed for a year and a half. So I stayed until I was 18. And actually 6 months past I was 18, because it was in the San Bernardino Mountains, Running Springs, California, just probably, I think, about 30 miles from Big Bear ski resort and the lake up there. Yeah, so I was there. Yeah, I was a runaway, man, and I freaking stayed runaway.
Did you try running away while you were there?
Oh, I left. I left campus a couple times. I got brought back by the cops one time, and then I left the second time. I think I left. I walked back by myself. It was-
What happened that first time? Do you remember what happened when the cop brought you back?
The cop just brought me back, and I just got out of the car, and then my counselor that was assigned to me, like, he's like, "Why'd you do that?" Like, and I was like, "I don't know." I was pissed off or something. I just wanted to get out of here. I wanted a cigarette or something. But
Could you smoke cigarettes there?
no.
No, I didn't think so. Let's see. So did you graduate, quote unquote, from there?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Did you, what was the highest level you got? Do you remember?
I think there's I think I got to I Want to Live, which
Okay.
is like halfway there, or something like that. And like there's prophets, they call them, and it's all out of the book. All out of this book. This little book. I can't remember who wrote it either, but I think it's called The Prophet, and it's just a little tiny book. And it's like children or truth, children's, and something in the middle, and then I Want to Live, and then some more after that. But you get in this routine, and then just get like hell scared of these raps that they would have like every day, and like there was certain staff that like you did not want to get in a rap with these certain staff members, like, because they just pick you apart, like rip you to shreds, screaming at you, like just like Ascent, and they'd pick on you. And there's a couple people, I mean, like Painful Pam, and like I would never want, like, if I ever saw that woman, I'd kick her. Hopefully she's in a wheelchair now, but I don't know. I shouldn't wish bad things on people, but they certainly did on us. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you feel like the staff there at CEDU got off on torturing the kids?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple that absolutely absolutely got off on it. I could
What
definitely.
What makes you say that?
Uh, their laughs and their giggles, like they had like this staff room, and you weren't even allowed like in a perimeter of them in their staff room. Like when they were in there, and they'd be laughing and pointing and looking, like pointing, and like if they're pointing at you, you're like, oh shit, what have I done? Like I'm gonna get, there's gonna be a rap. I'm gonna get you. Oh man, So you like learn this survival mode of which I'm still in. Like, it's like it's for life. Like you're in this mental survival mode, um, and to where it's better to be not seen. You know, it's better to be like hiding around the corner so they do not see you before one of those raps. And like if they see you, they're like, oh, he hasn't said anything in a rap. Let's make him cry. And they would like full gang up, and full yell at you. Oh my God, they'd scream. And then like if other students like didn't rat on you or scream at you or whatever, then they would get picked on by the staff. So it was like catch 22, like thoroughly catch 22, man. Like you had to rat on people and like you had to do this, but like um uh, I myself and there's a couple of us, and like we kept permapacks. Like I mean we like brothers, like, and I won't say names out of respect. We'll say one name because he's passed away, Adam Camille. God bless him. um Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, man.
Take your
He-
time.
he he um he was a real legend. Yeah, man. Digging. Go on. I guess. I mean, it's still fresh. That long ago. Uh, you know.
This happened recently,
No. No.
but it still feels fresh in your heart.
Yeah, like it was yesterday, bro.
No, I feel it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but anyways, going back, like we had this bro code, and like we would not break it, and we would 1,000% stick to like okay, and like we would say okay, I'm gonna tell on you for this, and you tell on me for this, and like and that way we knew that we had like a rock solid trust, in each other. And there's brothers out there, couple Dans out there. I'm gonna leave out last names. Couple Dans. I hope you listen. I love you guys and I miss you so much. Um, just rock solid brothers, man. Like, and we kept that bond. Um, and we were Facebook friends, but like, um, I, you know, you know, like this school and going through that school and running away and all that stuff has led to, you know substance abuse issues, of course, and red and blue lights and prison and jail and all that stuff. There's all books about it out there, and it's like I don't even have to read the books. I just give them to people. I buy them, but like the people that have taken the time to write them, and like thank God they've written them. I'd love to write one. I just can't focus enough to actually do it. Eventually maybe with GPT might help with AI.
You can get there for sure. You can get
Yeah,
there.
man.
So did anybody run away besides you when you were there? Like, did anybody get away that you know of?
Yeah, people would go, and when I was there was um like was the time that people were running away, and or they would say my fingers are doing finger quotes running away, but they were actually being taken away into the woods by the school psychiatrist and being raped and then murdered and left in the woods.
By the school psychiatrist? Wait a minute. So the school the school psychiatrist was murdering people?
Yeah, raping them and murdering them in the woods.
Oh yeah,
And
I think Carrie was saying something about that.
yeah, and
Yep.
then he was getting away with it because the staff would just say, "Oh, this is why you don't run away, because you go out and get lost and get hypothermia or get bit by a snake, because it was surrounded in the summer by timber rattlesnakes, and in the winter it's freezing cold and like snow, like proper snow, deep, um, and yeah, and like yeah, so raping kids and killing them. This is a staff working at a school, background checks. Hello.
Yeah, they are very, very, very useful to keep predators out in a way. Let's see. After you got, walk us through the day that you got out of the program. Do you remember what the first thing you did when you got out of the program was?
Oh man. Oh, that goes into a whole different thing, and I think we're jumping way ahead.
Okay, let's slow down for a bit. What between there do you want to touch on?
Like Carrie did touch on a whole heap of things that were really, really important, but like everyone had their own different experience, and
Yeah.
Carrie was a great friend, and I think I told my story to her. Like you had to tell your story to people like all the time. Like I think you had to tell your story to every person, um, and then you had to retell it, like to people like even you didn't like, or stuff like that, and that was hard. Like having to tell your story to someone you just like total dick, like there'd be some real jerks in there, like kid jerks, like you know what I mean. But there was also some really cool people, you know. There's really cool people. There's rock star kids. There's people from all walks of life. Um, um, Movie star kids. Uh, I mean, like uh, princes and princesses of different countries, and um, it was crazy. It was crazy just being around that at first. I mean, like and I hate putting those guys on blast because they know who they are, and I'm not going to say names. So I don't want to put them on blast like that, and be respectful to them too, for just anonymity, you know. But yeah, they like have like crying circles, like to where like they would force you to cry, and it's like I don't feel like crying, and it's like they put you in a circle and like make you cry, like a little kid, and everyone would just be sitting there crying. It's just like, why are you crying? Like, you know, everything you're taught as a child not to do, you know, and that's the theory, I think. Looking back now, I think that's the theory of their cult, is take you back down to a baby and then build you up to an adult.
Yep, that's brainwashing. They break you down, and then they while you're broken down, they rebuild you into the image they want you, instead of just being yourself. They build you into an image of what they think you should be.
Yeah.
So that's how the brainwashing works.
Okay.
But yeah, you're
Yeah,
spot
man.
on with that. That's usually that's a similar backbone to almost all these programs.
Yeah, okay. I hope I'm not boring. Like,
No, you're fine. No, I was just saying that I can. You're like spot on with that.
like, there's a lot of, I mean, like between the negative stuff, you know, like I hate to like just like go negative. There was some good things, I think, you know, to take away, like especially when we got to go on outings and like go to Joshua Tree and do solos and that was kind of cool, like doing those camps and trips and the outings, even though you felt like strange. I think that was the bit when we were brainwashed. We were properly brainwashed, and it was like, oh my god, this is good. But really it wasn't.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the name for it, but it's when like somebody kidnaps somebody or whatever, and then the kidnappee starts to like the person that kidnapped them or whatever. I can't remember what that's called, but that's similar kind of thing.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yep, Stockholm.
Yeah.
A little bit of that, a little bit of brainwashing. Yep.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
A lot of it is brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a I don't mind putting staff on blast. There's like this one dude, like I think his name was Joel or something, or yeah, I think his name was Joel, and he totally got off on like watching like the kids suffer, and you know, like in the pit, like Carrie mentioned, the pit, like there's this big fire pit, and like there's nothing to do there. Like if you didn't play an instrument, I mean, there's nothing to do on like weekends, or I mean, you just like sat there literally, and like, and if you're not getting a visit, you just watch other parent or other kids get visits, and and you're just sitting there depressed, like, gosh, I just keep going home, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and there was like the kitchen crew were cool. Like one dude was from Long Beach, and like he was part of NA. I remember him. He was cool, and he was like, man, just get through it. Like I don't even know if he was allowed to talk to us, but like I would always like talk to him. But he was cool. But and I don't. Yeah, they'd have us doing dishes, cleaning the kitchen when we get in trouble for little stuff. And then I don't know, like there was some good staff too. Um, one of them, his name was Rob. He was good staff. I'll say. In the end, he did get taken advantage of by myself.
How did that happen?
Uh, just in trust, like he'd like he was allowed to take like I was really good at mechanics and auto mechanics and auto repair and like anything mechanical
Okay.
and fixing stuff, and so he'd take me on like little outings, like take me to his house, and like his wife was there and kids and all that, and like I'd be working on his like cool cars, and he had motorcycles and stuff like that. Yeah, he was a good dude, and however, like when I was there, like if I saw money, I'd thieve it, and hide it for the day that I knew that I was gonna bail.
Yeah.
And when we'd go on those outings, we were given money and then checked, and of course I'd stash that, and that was
Where,
part of the bro pact.
well, you just stash it somewhere and then you just have a bro pact with people so they wouldn't take it?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, man.
solid. That's solid.
How solid, yeah. That I mean, like between us guys, like the two of us left together, and just with our duffel bags, like army duffel bags, and then Adam drove up from Beverly Hills, picked us up, and that's when like we just went straight back down into Beverly Hills at his folks' house. Both of his parents. I mean, I'm talking like Rodeo Park, or I don't know, huge mansion like Brentwood or somewhere, and like he used to, yeah. There's some super like I don't even know if I should say it, dude. Like he used to sell weed to some pretty famous people that are still out there. But it's all legal now, right?
That's all legal. I don't know about saying names though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
straight
you want
down into the party scene, rocking around like with pounds of weed, um, making deliveries all around Hollywood and Beverly Hills and that. And these are actors and musicians, and then having beers for the first time after a long time and all that, and then yeah,
what?
and sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it was just a total trip, just like coming out of that cult and then back into the real world, and then into full on society, after digging stumps and sitting on stumps and sitting at tables for months, and being around pedophiles, and I don't know about the people that are rapists and pedophiles and all that. I certainly am not. I live in Australia. They don't allow people into Australia from America that have that sort of record. So
Yeah.
That's saying something right there.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably have mentioned that it's been that difficult because of the time difference, even just to get this cast happening.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now it's like literally like 5 or 6 at night or something like that, right? And it's like fucking,
Yeah.
it's like 11:35 p.m. here. It's almost about to be midnight. So yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm so sorry.
No, we're making it work, man. I had fucking a hiccup today, and then but we made it work. We made it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just important to get these stories out there. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay up and fucking do this shit. Because I don't know.
You're a legend.
What?
You're a legend for it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I want to get a little bit more into when you got out of the program. What was like the hardest thing about when you got out of the program? Like for me, it was relating to people. I still have a problem relating to people. That's a big one for me. I don't really do good unless there's structure. Which is really fucking ironic because I don't like structure at all. But I don't really, I really hate it. But like I don't do good unless I have a structured environment or I have like a schedule. So that's been really hard for me, and just reintegrating into society. So like, how is that for you?
Man, I'm the exact same. I'm the same. They did the same to us. Like I hate structure, but that's the only thing I thrive in. Like um I hate it. Like I hate like routine and structure, but I do good. And like if there's no structure and no routine, I fall off the rails, you know. Or if I don't stay busy, you know. Like um I'm okay to admit that I'm alcoholic, you know. This is I've got chronic post-traumatic stress syndrome, chronic panic anxiety disorder. Anytime I'm confronted with two or more people, feels like a panel, and it brings me straight back to CEDU. It brings me straight back to that period in my life and that trauma. And alcohol seemed to be the only thing that would help me, and would work. And we'll go further because there's a lot more to tell. But like so I left the like after running around Beverly Hills and all that for 2 weeks. Adam, God bless his soul, tipped out. Like he had all this change, like this huge bucket of change, and he's just like bopping around, bebop Adam. He'd always shake his head, and he was a legend on guitar, man. So good, so happy all the time, and like heroin got him in, but like so many others, like all my favorite musicians, heroin.
You'll be happy to hear that I'm actually 2 years and 7 months off meth and heroin. I just smoke weed. But yeah, I was injecting too. I was injecting both at the same time, and I was doing quite a bit of it. And I was gonna die, bro. Like if I had stayed on that shit, especially with the fentanyl and everything, like literally everything, even like street weed nowadays, like it's just like I would have been dead, man. If I had stayed
Yeah,
like a month longer than I chose to get out, bro, I'd be dead. Even a month longer, man. Like literally
dude.
when I got out of it and stopped doing it was right when fentanyl started creeping into the supply. And I was just like,
Yeah,
it's just the timing, bro. I just decided to get clean. It was crazy.
dude. Good job.
Yeah.
And like 1,000,000,000%. I mean, like you fentanyl, like you can't even like you can't even like you can't even smell the stuff. Some people have like fainted or passed out just from like the smell of it and
Yeah,
gone
yeah.
into seizure, cardiac arrest. Like boom,
Yeah,
just for smelling it.
it's a fucking epidemic, dude. It's fucking
That's
crazy.
really bad.
Yeah, and I live in Seattle, so I see like it's pretty bad. Like it's probably worse in LA, but it's pretty fucking bad here too. It's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, man. Aunt and uncle live in Renton.
Okay. It's not too
Yeah,
far from me, actually.
yeah, bro. You know right where they live. If I told you.
That's crazy, man. It's a small world. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just saying that. So continue your story.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, the heroin, dude. So
Yeah.
bad. So good. You, brother, man. Like, um, yeah, I've injected and like, um, yeah, good job. um,
I'm trying, man.
yeah. So yeah, anyways, Adam dumped out all this change and we went to the bank, counted it, got me enough to get a Greyhound ticket back to Portland. And so I was like 22 hours on a Greyhound bus from South Central LA as a kid, and I'm sitting there in South Central LA, Greyhound. You know how like South Central LA at that
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
was like you do not want to go there.
No.
Like that's like Boys in the Hood that
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
And
You don't
I
want to
was
be wearing blue or red, none of that shit. Like
nothing.
nothing.
Worst place to be at the worst time. Like, and
Yeah.
anyways, I couldn't wait to get on that bus, man. And I'm sitting right next to the driver. Like, I was scared, all that stuff. Um, and I had just sitting in the Greyhound bus station, like waiting for the bus. And I'm sitting right next to the security guy. Like, he's probably scared too. Like, you know, but I rode that Greyhound bus, and all my friends picked me up. Like once I got off or got out of the bus, and it was like the longest trip of my life. They stop in every single town, like all the way up. It's like riding the prison chain bus, but they, yeah, they, uh, all my friends picked me up and big hugs and everything, but it was like straight to the beer and straight to the party and like straight to the girls again. And like I was known like at CEDU as like the ladies man. Like that was my problem. Like I was addicted, like not only to cocaine, but I was like addicted to sex, and I had like many girlfriends all through high school. I was like the sex addict, and like the songs, like my thing was like frankly my dear, or like Carrie said, um they named you or gave you like this code or whatever, and like my code was frankly my dear, I don't give a damn. Like I was like a gigolo or like a male, like I mean I'm not really proud of it now, but
Yeah.
like but it is what it is, you know.
You were a teenager. You were in those fucking years. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like,
Yeah, I was a rabbit, man. I was a rabbit. But yeah, that unfortunately it's not happening now. But
yeah.
but
It kind of slows down when you reach 30 years old. A little bit.
yeah, yeah, and you stop drinking and going to clubs and all that stuff, drinking and drugging and doing all that stuff that we did or do to try and cope with the trauma that these programs has put in our lives. And you know, our parents didn't know that that this was happening to us, you know, only until afterwards, because they'd lie to them on the phone, you know. And um like
Your parents were still involved in your program, though, right? Or were they not
yeah,
because it was a court-ordered thing?
well, they still were, and I kept calling them, trying to tell them like what was going on, like and and they'd hang up the phone on me, like in the call. Sorry, gotta go. And
Like,
then I'd get in
your parents would hang up the phone, or the staff there, like facility,
that
like,
would,
watching you make the call?
yeah, they'd be on the other side of the window watching and listening. They'd hang up and they'd be like, "You said it. You're not allowed to say
Oh,
that." And then
oh,
they'd call your
okay.
parents back and they'd say, "Oh, he was having a hard time. He's saying the wrong things and da da da." And you try to write it in letters or however you could get it out there, and they'd read your letters and wouldn't send them, you know.
Yeah, that's the
So
same way it was where I went.
yeah,
Yep.
where did
I went to a place called Spring Creek Lodge Academy in Thompson Falls, Montana, like 30 miles from the nearest town in Montana, and just out in the middle of the fucking woods, like literally middle of nowhere. Like when I drove up there, it looked like a fucking ski resort. So when you said the other place looked like a ski resort, I was like, holy shit. And that seems to be a
yeah,
similar. That seems to be a similar fucking train of thought for a lot of people. A lot of people that I've interviewed have said fucking ski resort because it looked like a ski
well,
resort. I pulled up on it, and it's just crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's funny too because I've skied my whole life. Like I've raced, I um like competitive downhill skier. Like I was close to World Cup level. Like I was pretty good, you know, until the drugs took over, um, and then I went, yeah, I don't know. I yeah, I got out of CEDU. I mean, I've got scattered thoughts and Tourette's, tics, um, and the anxiety. Um, yeah, like sometimes I can't sleep, and it makes my Tourette's worse. I don't have verbal Tourette's, but it's like if I get really mad, then I kind of get verbal Tourette's. But I don't have like the funny Cartman, like
Yeah.
piss in my face, like Tourette's. You know what I mean? Like or like fuck you. You know, I
Yeah.
don't have that. I just say exactly what's on my mind and when I'm angry, but I don't get angry very often, man.
Well, that's good. So you mentioned
Yeah.
you're an alcoholic, and you said you've experimented with other drugs. Like, are you saying you're an alcoholic? Like, are you actively using alcohol, or are you an alcoholic because you drank in the past?
No, I drank in the past, man.
Okay, cool. So are you like, what do you do nowadays? Like, like first of all, I'm curious, what made you move to Australia?
Oh, okay. I married I worked at several ski resorts, but as a as a mechanic on the ski lifts. So all my work has been like insane, crazy work, like climbing high towers, cranes, like everything extreme, like whitewater raft guide. I'm a sailing instructor, outdoor ed instructor myself. I teach wakeboarding, water skiing. Um, uh, uh, I've gotten into race car driving, like Fast and Furious proper. Like I had 2 Nissan Skylines, like Paul Walker, God rest his soul. Like um, that kicked it off. But anyways, back to Australia. Like ended up at Sun Valley, Idaho in 2000 or 99, and started work there. And that's really where I built and developed all my skills as I was working with the absolute best of the best in Sun Valley, and I suppose CEDU sort of semi grew me to be around stars and or actors and actresses, and like um like
Did you make connections while you were in CEDU for on the outside?
no,
Okay.
no, not really. I mean we stayed in touch, but not really for anything for jobs or anything like that.
Okay, I was just curious.
Just friends. But yeah. Anyways, I met an Australian girl. She was a lifty, and I was a mechanic. I was pretty much her boss or her supervisor, um, and yeah, like we got married, and my son is 18, and he was born here in Australia, and I believe that that's like your number one obligation in life is if you make a child, you are to look after your child. Like, but
Amen to that.
yeah,
So you're a
yeah.
father.
So that, yeah, proud father. Yeah, yeah. He's a professional skater. He's sort of gone off the sponsors. Like I don't know, he felt too much pressure or something like that from the sponsors, like to do gigs and things like that, events, and so so I just let him. We just let him sort of do his thing, and he's taken over one of my businesses, and I'm back at work. Like I'm actually at my boss's house now.
That's awesome. That's really cool that he lets you come over there and do this interview.
Oh,
Really awesome.
yeah, yeah. I've got great understanding. Like I don't know, it's like it was meant to be. Like um, I'm pretty much like like you have to be a jack of all trades to like work on ski lifts. You have to know like everything, like from mechanics to heavy lifting, heights, confined spaces, engines. Um, you have to know all that electrics. Um, my business, one of my businesses here is I bought a vending machine, semi-passive income. I bought a vending machine business, so like all you just let the machines do the work, bro. So you just tend them when it's time to fill them up and collect the money and put it in the bank.
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm
My
ever,
son's like,
I was gonna say, if I ever come to Australia, you should show me around.
dude, I will. Like my buddy came here. I'll say this for a second. My buddy, he's a very good friend, Josh. He came and he only had one day here in my town
Yeah.
where I lived, and it's the highest point in Australia. I don't live there anymore. I live down the south coast, but it's the highest point in Australia, and so it's pretty much like everyone goes there to climb the top.
Yeah.
And he texted me and called me and he said, I'm here, and I was like, oh man, I really don't feel like, and I was like, what am I thinking, man? I haven't seen this guy forever, and he's like, he used to be my best friend, like. And so we climbed the mountain together and got pictures, had lunch, and I'm so sad it was only one day, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be really cool to come to Australia. The only thing that I've heard is that there's a lot of things that can kill you in Australia, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, but having lived here for like that was my thing too, and like I got off the plane and like my first time I came here, I got off the plane and I was expecting like kangaroos at the airport, and spiders and snakes everywhere, but it's totally not true. I walk around in barefoot and like flip flops like every day. So it's not. I mean, things will kill you, but like here's an Australian's defense, or this is what Australians always say about America. They're like, "Oh my God, guns everywhere! Oh my God, oh my God! How do you deal with all the guns?" And I'm like, "You're born with them." It's like I don't know. It's like at least me and my family, like it was like I got my first gun, I think, when I was like 11. Like
Yeah.
you know. So in Boy Scouts, it was part of Boy Scouts. It's like you have to learn and be a competent shooter, and then you become marksman because Boy Scouts was brainwashing for the military.
Yeah.
But it's a really good thing to have gone through, participate in Boy Scouts, anyways.
Oh yeah, I believe I was in Boy Scouts when I was younger for a while.
Yeah.
It's good. I think Boy
Mm.
Scouts, it teaches you a lot of like skills, especially like for survival. But see, the thing about that is that you choose to go there. You have a choice to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
leave if you want to. So
Well, my dad wouldn't let me get a driver's license if I didn't go.
there you go.
So,
You some
but
valuable knowledge, and you got your driver's license.
yeah, that led to like DUIs and DUIs and DUIs and which eventually led to prison time. Um, uh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
are you doing good now?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm content. I'm focused. I'm happier. I'm doing the best I can. And uh, I mean, we're leaving a lot out, but uh, I don't know. I suppose if you if you do want to entertain like a part two after you,
Yeah, let's do part two for sure. Let's for sure do a part two.
yeah, because we've skipped around, and I'm really good at skipping around a lot, like um uh uh because it's so fucking late for you there. And there's a lot of shit at CEDU that like I've forgotten about and forgotten to mention, like the touchy-feely stuff, the smooshing. Like they'd have everyone laying on each other.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. What was that about? Like cuddle puddle?
Yeah,
Huge cuddle?
yeah, that's weird, man. Like you're not supposed to do that stuff. Like you're not supposed to like cuddle and like touch people.
It's probably
And,
hella
like,
awkward too, right?
yeah, it's super awkward. You don't want to like cuddle with someone like some random like, and like now like if that was to happen, like you'd find yourself like in court or something like.
Yeah, definitely nowadays. Definitely for sure.
Yeah. With this like whole woke movement thing, I'm pretty anti that, but I don't think I'm gonna go into anything about politics.
Yeah. All I'll say is critical thinking is a good thing to use. Critical thinking
Yeah,
skill, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. Critical
yeah,
thinking.
man.
But I definitely do want to do a part two. I do want to ask you, have you told your parents about what happened to you there after you got out, and like, what is your relationship with your parents like?
Well, yeah, sadly, my father passed away 3 years ago.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that sucked, and I think that's when I picked up again, like hard, and I was trying to join him, and I was very close actually. My liver function was in triple digits, and so I was about to fail, and I was going down that path, like hiding in the woods in a travel trailer, and um, trying to meet my dad, trying to die, suicidal drinking, and the amount I was drinking was lethal. Like when they took my blood, when I made the decision like that, like I want to live, bro. Like what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Like I had a spiritual awakening, and believe it or not, it does happen, and I'm sure you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You just get to a point where it's just not fucking worth it anymore, and you just like realize.
Dude, yeah, Groundhog's Day. It's like you, you just obsess about it, and it's just stupid. You're going nowhere. It's no way to live. You're not accomplishing anything. You just, yeah,
Your life's stuck on pause.
yeah, yep, yeah. And I was losing friends. Um, I was and prepare like, I mean, it would have been prison round 2, probably deportation of Australia, like, um, like that's what I want to talk about. Probably if we do another one, like is the second chapter and where it's led me to now, and um, um, like the whole, like when I got to Sun Valley, and then from there, and like running businesses and selling firewood to stars and Tom Hanks and Schwarzenegger and Stallone and like um, Clint Eastwood. I mean, like you name it, dude. Like everyone goes to Sun Valley, and like Tom Hanks was cool, like, and Bruce Willis was cool, and like they're all like, you just treat them like normal people, like, and they're cool, they're mellow. You treat them like a star, and they just like leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, because they get that all the time. They just want to. Most famous people just want to be normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't want to be
Or they want their lives to be as normal as possible. They want to be able to function normally in their life while they're famous.
Yeah, they don't want to be always in the spotlight, man. I don't want to be that way either. Like, you know, like.
I'm not sure I ever want to be in the spotlight, actually.
Oh, I've been in a couple bands. I'm a muso as well. I'm not a great muso.
I
Play
make
piano.
music, but I don't think I'd ever be able to perform in front of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I got famous enough, I might do it, but I don't know. But it also depends. Maybe I'd want to keep like a smaller crowd so that I could do smaller shows and just like have it be a small thing.
Yeah, if you start small, like I've played small gigs and then played big gigs, and like start small, and you get the energy from the crowd, and
Yeah, I figured that.
yeah, man, and it and that's where you get your stage presence. But I don't know. It's a lot of fun, and you get a lot of dopamine from it. And right now, I'm getting my dopamine from like fast cars, motorcycles, fishing, doing hectic work. I don't know, whatever I can. I'm a workaholic now. Like I work too much now, so.
No, I definitely feel it. you you need that. You need that schedule and structure to function. We all do.
Yeah, 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 man.
I hate it sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's do a part 2. We could do it. We could even do it. Let's just schedule it right now. That way we can. Do you want to do that? We can just schedule it right now.
Yeah, well, or yeah, just you know me, man. Like I don't wear a watch, and like I don't wear a watch, and like um my job sometimes has me away. Um
How
and
about, how about you
sorry.
just let me know when you can do part 2, and just reach out to me, and then we'll do part 2.
Yeah, I'll Facebook and stuff, and because you're gonna edit this, right? Like a little bit.
A little bit. I just all I honestly do is I just add my title and my outro. I don't edit the fuck. I don't
Oh,
edit the content because it's your story. So I'm just
okay.
I don't edit it.
Yeah,
Like it's right.
I'm
It's
sorry.
your story.
I'm sorry for everyone, for anyone who's listening to this. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm bouncing around a little bit. Like I'm a little bit. I didn't sleep very well last night, and um, I'm going through a bit of a like sleep issue thing, um, and and my tics are a little bit bad today. So
Well,
I
also
have to.
you're talking also about a topic that probably brings up a lot of thoughts and feelings for you. So
Yeah, I got pretty emotional there. Hey, and I have to go back and sort of dig a little bit deeper, maybe do some writing, and prepare a little bit more for series 2 if others are interested in hearing more, because I have a lot more to tell.
yeah, I was gonna say that you should take notes. You're saying that you want to write a book. You could just start by taking some notes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
even for next time, for part 2, if you take some notes, then that would be awesome. You know what I mean? Sometimes writing helps you to remember stuff too. So,
yeah.
but no pressure.
Hey,
You don't got to do that. But it's just a suggestion.
no, cool. Absorb. Absorb. I
For
got
sure.
you.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add to this first part?
Um, I just want to thank you very much for this platform, and we hopefully we can get some more people from CEDU from around the same time that can really fill in the gaps and connect the dots so people get a better understanding of how terrible things were. Hopefully we can find these people, Bill Valentine and the people that were in charge of this outfit. I think they've all fled to Mexico and all that. But there's got to be people that will be held accountable, you know, like I mean, if these stars are being held accountable and people are trying to make Donald Trump like be held accountable for things that are he's done in the past and like things like that, like, you know, these people have destroyed lives, like, and put people down these terrible paths, not emotionally, physically, mentally. There's people that are dead over this, over going to these schools, and you know, it's courts need to know to not send kids to these programs. Like, people need background checks and need qualifications. Like, kids, adults even shouldn't be forced into programs like that. Christian programs or non-Christian, even though I am Christian. I mean, nobody should be forced into a program.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Just, you know.
Just like you can't force an addict to get clean. They have to be ready. Like, they have to want
That's
that
right.
themselves. Like, seriously. You can't force people to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
because then they're just
Yeah,
going to be doing it till they make it, which is what I did.
yeah.
But, you know, there was parts, I was real with everything that I said, but I just did what they said for me to do to get through the program. So,
Yeah.
I'm taking that aspect.
That's right. That's right. Like, fake it. Fake it till you make it. And, like, I was sober for 4 years, and then off, and then I was sober for 3 years, and running meetings, and I found myself so lonely. But now I'm sober again, and like, I'm making friends, and I've got a great job, and I got great bosses that are understanding, and like, I mean, I'm again trustworthy. Like, you know, I'm not a thief. I never really have been a thief. I don't, you know, karma's a bitch. You know, like, I've never been a thief. Uh, um, oh, I shouldn't say that. I think I was when I was a child, like super young, um, but but in my adulthood, when I started working, like it was really drilled into me, like, because I was blue collar worker always. Like, being a thief is like the worst of the worst. Like stealing tools, man. Like, I've always lived by the principle, like, if you steal a tool, anything you work on with that tool is forever tainted. Like, it's cursed. so, and that same rule should apply to musical instruments. Like, if you steal a guitar or steal a harmonica or anybody's musical instrument, your music is forever tainted. Your hands are tainted. I don't know. Yeah, I've always lived by that. And you know, honesty um, is the best policy, especially when it comes to like bosses and um, uh, communication as well. You know, in employment, I've learned that over the years, and I know this isn't about that, you know, but just just where I'm at right now.
Oh, fine. It's totally fine. All right, so any last thoughts before we close this off?
No. I just want to thank you so much, and thank all your listeners, and hopefully, hopefully we get this part 2 happening. I'll do some notes. That'll give me something to focus on, and I thank you for that. And yeah. I think that's all I have to say about that. Like,
Yeah.
I like to be funny, man. I try to be funny, but
Yep.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Sobriety's the way, man. Sobriety. Look after your kids and love your neighbor. You know,
Always.
there's not enough love in the world.
Yeah, there needs to be more love for sure.
Yeah, man. Listen to some Bob Marley.
Oh yeah, smoke some weed and listen to Bob Marley. And you're good.
Smoke some weed, listen to Bob Marley, and give someone who is willing to receive a hug a hug. Ask
Always.
first.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we will get this part 2 going. Just whenever you take notes and whenever you're ready, just send me a message.
Okay,
And
brother.
If I don't hear from you in like a month or so, I'll circle back and send you a message on Facebook. Okay.
I'll touch base with you in like a couple days, man.
All right. Cool. Sounds so good. All right.
Okay.
Have a wonderful night.
Okay. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't liked the video, then please do so. Share it and all of that good stuff. And once again, thank you for watching, and thank you guys for your support. And we will see you in part 2.
You.